Now, on today's big report, we focus on a pressing issue in Abia State, the enforcement of the ban on street trading. Despite the government's announcement a week ago about its readiness to commence enforcement, not much has changed. Filed earlier this week, here's News Central's Chinwe Ugele's report on the matter.
Was convened knowing that a lot of issues needed to be addressed by the leaders of the party in some of the People's Democratic Party's controlled states. It was a closed-door meeting that had past elected politicians, state chairmen of the party, as well as the Board of Trustees chairman in attendance. After their deliberations, the chairman of the PDP Governors Forum, Bala Mohammed, read the communication. 24 hours after the comments from Commissioner Okekano on street trading ban enforcement, the harmonized task force moved into action, putting up barricades at locations not originally meant for buying and selling. You can see the road behind me is now quite clear and vehicles can move, other than what it used to be some days ago when traders littered the streets, the roads with their wares. However, a few days later, the areas marked for ban have been fully occupied once again as trading resumes. The plan to move the traders out of their current locations is not a threat to them, knowing that there will be an option provided by the government.
If you can provide another place for us, it's good. If you can go over, as far as you can doing business, it's fine.
I know that before governor lives here, I know he will provide a better place for us to stay before it's closed.
They are unwilling to relocate to the Umuahia main market at Ubani only because of distance, which may not be a good development for the market and occupants.
That Urban, we've been there and it doesn't work for us, to be sincere. People find it difficult to come here to patronize us. So that's why we are asking our governor, because we know he's people's governor, to at least look for a place that will be around the town for us to go in.
Even the state government is heeding to the demands of the traders to remain in the city center when relocated instead of moving to Ubani. Will they remain at the positions where they are now, or is government making alternative plans to relocate them to another market?
The policy of the government is to create orderliness around that cluster. The government have also made provision for a space where these people will be relocated to, because actually you can't move them away without providing an alternative, and that because when they don't have alternative, that's when they start hanging around there.
Until the proper relocation of these traders, the harmonized task force has a huge task of controlling likely surge that will cause obstruction from traders and commercial motorists on the road. In Umuahia for News Central, Chinwe Ugele.
And joining us now to discuss this further is our correspondent and reporter who covered this latest development, and that's Chinwe Ugele. Chinwe, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you for doing this with us. Thank you again for that very insightful report. And we know that Abia is a capital when it comes to made in Nigeria products, from their leather goods to their clothes. I mean, Aba, Umuahia is very synonymous. And so street trading would seem like, a no-brainer when it comes to a state like that. But what are the main reasons that the government has given for the slow enforcement of the street trading ban?
Well, the Abia state government had, always said it, that it would relocate all the people who made the roads and the streets their marketplaces. But then we keep hearing a shift or not willing to do what it had promised to do. Because actually, it's not just in Umuahia. Even Aba is also a mess when it comes to street trading. So the government, for that of Umuahia, government gives the reason of not having an alternative in place yet. Government wants to build another market within the city, and that has also sparked a kind of reaction and comments from the public who believe that there was no need for another market when there's an existing market where the 80% of the people who now make the streets their marketplaces already have shops, but then decided to move into town when government changed hands. It didn't actually start with this government. The immediate past administration could not control the people because they were moved away from the town during the Theodore Orji's administration to Ubani market. It's a big market actually. But then somehow in the second tenure of Okezi Bazu, Governor Okezi Bazu, the then governor of Abia State, he allowed them, come into the same city, the same capital city, and it's quite an eyesore because they've made that place look as if that's where Umahia's main market is, when actually that is not where it is. So this government is giving excuse of trying to set up a new one that is within the city center for the people to relocate when they have an existing market where they should go.
Okay, so Chiwe, now you talk about the past administration and then the current one. We've heard good things from Alex Oti and Abia State in recent past. Now this is another endeavor, especially when it comes to the environment and the effect of the market inside of such a city center. However, is there consideration given to the traders who are worried about the amount of patronage that they would get or might not get if they're moved over to the Ubani side of town? What consideration is the government giving to the traders regarding that? Is there any? Chinwe, I'm hoping that you heard us there.
Chinwe, are you there?
I think we might have a freeze.
We might have lost her there.
But I'm hoping that you understand what I'm asking.
Of course.
Now, it's one thing to say, move over to the other side of town. It's another thing to, well, note the economic strains that we're going to right now. We hear that Chinwe is back with us right now. Chinwe, are you there now, Chinwe?
Yes, I am.
I'm wondering if you heard the question I asked.
Yes, I did. So I was saying that the government's consideration would be that they want to set up a new market in the town, which is, according to the government, accessible, But a lot of people, I've had people who are still in that Ubani market come to me to complain of how government wants to kill the market when they are still there. So when you ignore Ubani market and set up a new one, you have completely dealt with the traders who are still in that market. Because you cannot just consider people who complain about distance. There are those who cannot leave that market because they can't afford to rent shops elsewhere, probably because they were able to buy that one at Ubani or because that of Ubani is cheaper. So government will need to consider a lot of things. But there's also this issue of accessibility. There are two roads leading to the market from the city center. Now, one is shorter, but that short route failed at some point. So I think what the government can do is to try to fix that road. Because once that road is fixed, I tell you, if government asks them to go back to Ubani market, they would. But when people give complaints like this, and then government also makes excuses for them, and then it looks as if those of them who decided to stay back at Ubani don't know what they are doing. So government will consider those of them still at Ubani and the people who they want to relocate from the streets. Don't they have shops at Ubani? Don't they have where? Because the problem or what they should also be looking at is how big is Ubani? Can Ubani take them all in? If the answer is yes, why build another market? Because you are trying to save costs of running government. So that should come into consideration. Look at what you have on ground and see how you can make do with them. See how you can fix things so that you don't spend more trying to be politically correct, or else you're making a lot of mistakes.
Chinwe, it makes me wonder about, the residents of Abia, and especially the cities like Umuahia and Aba. That is, the streets, every corner, especially when you're going to the very major markets, is littered with traders who have set up their wares and their stalls on the road. It makes me wonder about the residents. Is this a welcome development for them? Do they want this, or is it otherwise, to say this is also a sole source of income for a majority of residents in those cities, and so they don't see this as a real development, so to speak?
It's not a good development. Like, everybody complains about it because they constitute a lot of nuisance. If you enter Umuahia, as you just drive into town, that's the first thing you see. And people begin to wonder if the whole town is like that. Then you go to Aba. Aba is on another level. In fact, it's become a major issue for residents of Aba because they can't even get houses to rent anymore for residential purposes. Nearly all the buildings in Aba have been converted into shops. Trading all over the place. It's quite a Herculean task for the government. I can tell you that, actually. But the issue is that government also needs to be stern if it wants to take an action on that, because there's no way you convert every section of a city into a market. Do you know that Aba is probably the only city where you have markets around the stadium? That Enimba Stadium you hear about, it is surrounded by markets everywhere. Entrance to the stadium is a market. It's crazy, really. So the market issue, the trading issue, it's not as if people will suffer because of that. But there has to be the position of government made known that this is how things are. You don't just do a verbal policy without matching it with action. That is what everybody is looking at. That is what everybody wants to see. While people benefit from the fact that these things are very close to you, you can just step out of your house and you pick up something. It is not what it should be. Like, oh my head, that shouldn't be what we see in the state capital. And then Aba, if we want to put Aba in the correct order, how it should be, like a commercial town. Being a commercial town doesn't mean you litter everywhere with trades, with wares, So let things be arranged in proper perspective. And then people begin to appreciate the fact that, okay, when you go to Umuahia, this is where their market is. Right now, before you get to Abia State Government House, you see people selling on the roadside. Those tables you actually saw there, it's just a few meters away from the government house gate.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
It's terrible.
So, Chinwe, I want to draw a comparison between Umuahia, especially as the state capital, and a small city in Dubai called Dera. Now, Dera is known for its, trade, because that's where most people who come into Dubai actually want to go to buy items at very reduced cost. Now, what they've done there is they have also been able to manage the residents and also the traders in one spot. And it's a big deal. It's a very big venue for trading and also for living. In fact, you can get hotels there. I don't see the difference between Dera and Umuahia. Now, Alex Otti is a very forward-thinking governor, that's for sure. And one is wondering if there can't be any balance that can be met. Maybe perhaps set policies that could attend to other issues, other auxiliary issues like environmental policies where traders can still trade but yet keep the environment clean or orderly. Is there no possible balance that can be met when it comes to these residents and also trading facilities in Umuahia or any of the other parts of Abia State?
It's a possibility. It's something that can happen. I can't remember the name of that market in East London that I went to some years back. It's like a morning market. It starts in the morning and ends at noon. If you come there 5 minutes past 12, you wouldn't know there was any form of buying and selling there. Because if you understand, people have even suggested that if you want to make the traders remain in the city center, okay, put them at a place where they can sell from this time to this time, and then they clear the entire place. It's cleaned up. So it's not even as if, because if you give an example with the city you talked about in Dubai, Now, I'm sure they don't stay in mud or in what is that
Umbrellas.
again?
Yeah.
Under umbrellas.
Sheds.
They don't sell in dirty environments and all that. So it has to be an arranged situation. It shouldn't just be a pseudo arrangement. It has to be properly put together so that once you see that, you understand that, oh yes, this is a market and it is well laid out. It's not something everybody just brings any kind of table, dumps there, and then government goes there to maybe collect revenue at the end of the day. Yes, it's giving you a bad image. It's not good you're getting revenue, or the state maybe getting revenue from all these trade that goes on there. But then look at the kind of picture and image it has given us. It's not good.
Well, Chinwe, thank you very much for your detailed report from during last week and also your insight here on the show today. We'll continue to monitor this, and of course, you'll continue to bring us these reports as the matter does progress. Thank you very much.